Well, welcome back to my one-car garage in Walla Walla, Washington. A town so cool they named it twice or they were stuttering. Well, anyway, a fellow asked for me to show in detail just how do I hit the close tolerances on really cool old machines like this Axelson, 1941 Axelson. And what I'm doing right now is I'm letting the machine warm up, and I'm going to try to hit within 200 millionths of 3/8 on this 25/64 oil hardening drill rod. And let's have a quick look at the chuck setup here. Okay, this is about as solid grip as you can get on a 3/8 rod is with a small 4-jaw chuck here, 4.5-inch 4-jaw, mounted to D16 backplate, and all of this runs better than 2/1000ths run out, and 2/1000ths run out or more will cause vibration. And it's kind of interesting, like on motorcycle crankshafts and other multi-piece crankshafts, it's like the maximum run out on that stuff's 2/1000ths. 2/1000ths of an inch run out I can visually see on that. If there was 2/1000ths run out and this was rotating, let's say 250 RPM or faster. So it's like 2/1000ths is an interesting point. I did a video on it. I got about 10 thumbs down, so I knew I was onto something. Those thumbs down are very encouraging considering YouTube. Okay, yeah, the machine is situated on YouTube. Okay, so through the ages, and it's not just me, people with Monarch 10EEs, there's one sitting right there, one of the best in the country, excellent shape, inch metric. I sold it to a young guy. Well, anyway, to get what you get out of that, I'm going to use every trick on this machine to get that accuracy on that little piece of drill rod, which I think will be kind of fun. And one of the problems I have, and a lot of these old lathes have here, is they have kind of a coarse feed. And I'm going to use carbide on that. And my maximum speed is 1127, which is kind of slow. So the kind of carbide I'm going to use is very important. And I got a piece of it right here, Micro 100. It comes in one grade. And this stuff was really famous with the screw machine people because it lasts forever. It's a multi-purpose, general purpose carbide, but it's got a micrograin structure. It makes it quite expensive. And this is just a, AR8, I think, half-inch shank. And I think these are, close to $20 each. And one of these is worth a box of the imports, I guarantee you. The only equivalent to this that I ever found, and that's not available, was Iskar C2 grade. And that's been going for a very long time. I don't think they make these kind of bits anymore. So I ground this bit over here, just simply, and I grind it back from the front here, have about a 15-degree back cut there, And the carbide's pretty thick on these, so when I get them, they have about a degree of side rake like that, but I put it like 1 or 2 degrees of back rake in it with the cutter grinder, grinding on the top here. So I got this. Let's get more light here. I got this ground, and then I do a very tiny radius by hand. And I use a scale magnifier, and I got just about a 10,000ths radius in that. So I'll have to hand feed it, or it'll leave lines at just under 3,000ths is this machine's feed. So I've got these laps here, diamond laps, and I put the radius in by hand because it's too hard to get for me to take the time, and I'd have to have another machine to do tiny radiuses because of the setup time of those fixtures. So I do the radiuses by hand, check them with a magnifier, then that's 7 power. Then I've got this these are pretty nice around the machine shop. They're Harold Pittman Paragon magnifiers, 10 power, and they're for setting type, graphic arts kind of thing. All right, so you can set that on there, and when you're honing the top, well, myself, I need a lot of magnification. So anyway, I look closely at the edge and make sure it's got no little nicks or anything like that. Okay, we'll get back over to the machine and I'll put the camera on a stand. Okay, back in a bit. Back here at this warmed up and ready to go Axelson, and what a beast. What a beast. So I got it in neutral, so the in-gear train is not working, all this stuff. The only thing spinning is the spindle, and I don't need any of that because the finest feed is 0.0027, and it needs a feed of less than 1,000ths, and so I have to hand feed it. And I'm about ready to go. I got about 15 thousandths, a little bit in there to take off this to make it 3/8. And if you're trying to hold a tenth or two, you want to take a short piece and not like have this long piece in the spindle hole, because it'll whip back in there and then affect what's going on here. So you want a short piece, and I think this piece is probably just that long in the chuck there. Okay, I will set the camera on a tripod, and another thing, I kind of have to slow down here. I've done all this many times, and when you do that, you kind of go through things without thinking about it. So I'm going to use this for the finish tool here, and I'm going to get it about 5 thousandths from using this, using a lesser quality carbide, and then I'll save the last 2 cuts for the Micro 100. Okay, but this is a brazed carbide ACT, and I'm not real sure the grade on this. It's been kicking around here for a long time, but it's not too brittle, but it's not near the quality of Micro 100. Okay, so I have to manually oil the ways here because the pump's not working, And it'll run smoother not having to run all this other mechanical stuff. Okay, I will get on a tripod here. Moving right along here. Okay, now it's important to have the tool on center. So I use, these were real cheap at one time, and I think they still are, but sometimes you can find them for 20 bucks. So vernier height gauge. This one's a Starrett. Oh, I forget what number. But anyway, you take this off the flatway here, measure from the top of the pin, subtract the divided by 2 anyway, that diameter, and then that's your center height, exact center height. Then you bring it over here and transfer it to your tool and adjust it if needed. Okay, so I keep that over there, and the center height is 8 1/8 inches on that. Just happens to be. They probably planned it like that. Okay, I will get the tripod set up, and I think we're ready to go here. Okay, be back in a second. Oh, here we go. I'm going to run this at 849 RPM and hand feed it. Touch off here. This is like razor sharp carbide. It's pretty old methods, you know. Before carbide inserts, there was this. Hard to believe, I know. Okay, I'm going to take 8 thousandths off the diameter. So I'm just going to start making some cuts here. That means I got to take 4 thousandths off, so I'll take two 2,000th depth cuts, hopefully. Let's see where we are here. Okay, I got my dial indicator set here. Okay, I'm going to knock 2 off here. Set to 0. Okay, here we go. Make sure I got a lot of lube on now. Just a little more than 15 thousandths to take off. And I'm using just a standard carbide ACT brand just to rough it down to the point that I'll use the more expensive Micro 100. And this actually does give a pretty good finish. Okay, I'm going to go conservatively. I'm going to go 1.5 and then check it. My hand feeding improves towards the last cut. I had a lot of small machines years ago that didn't have power feed. And the jig board doesn't have power feed. You got to hand feed it if you want to do some nice fly cutting. Okay, that looks good there. Back it off. I have a lot of fun doing this. I hope you enjoy stuff like this in your shop. Okay, where'd my ray go? See where we are. Okay, 6 thousandths from size. I think I'll pick it up from here with the Micro 100 and get this blended in. It'll be good for at least 4 cuts, I do believe. Okay, I'll try a different angle with the camera. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, got that Micro 100 in there and an extended over tool holder. And we'll get her going. I'm going to stick with that 849. It runs pretty smooth and seems to do okay, so we'll try it. Okay, I'm going to touch off. It's easier without the move. Okay. Right there. So this indicator. On 0, excuse me. Okay. Got 6 thousandths to go. So I'm going to take 1/1000 and a half and get this tool working out. Right about there. Okay. Still hand feeding. I hope I get better at this at the last cut. Now, I'm actually making a part here that needs accurate 3/8 shank. And again, I'm doing this because I have a surplus of 25/64 drill rod. /64 over 3/8. Hey, that looks pretty good. I got a little more nose radius on this Micro 100. And about a 7.5 degree end clearance below the edge. And here is the dial bore gauge. We'll move back just a little bit. see where we are. Let me get over here. Okay, I got within 1/10,000th of final size. So there we go. You can't beat that. Now these old lathes might be a little better than you might realize, but they have to be adjusted, and you got to be careful there, like particularly on the spindle bearings. Then you got the gibs and everything, and most of the stuff on this machine's in pretty good shape, even though it makes a racket. But the old machines like Hindis and Monarchs and Americans of this time period are really good machines. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I'm pleased with this. Okay.